Malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum. Group members: Ellen George, Julia Diero, and Nakia Jones. Malaria is a disease that's life-threatening, caused by P. falciparum. It's transmitted to people through a pregnant and infected Anopheles mosquito. This disease is a major cause of death in some areas of the world, specifically those with warm climates. You can see here, Africa is the most prominent with malaria transmission. Then you've got South America and Asia, India. Those have mild malaria transmission, and then in blue, hardly any. These are the early stage symptoms. You've got headaches, sweating, fatigue, nausea, fever, general feeling of illness. These are flu-like symptoms. When those symptoms appear, the time from the initial malaria infection vary from 7 to 30 days. This is the incubation period. You can read a little bit more here. Incubation time may be longer if medications are taken for prevention. We'll look at those later. These are severe complications due to malaria: acute renal failure, cerebral malaria, severe anemia or bleeding, acidosis, and hypoglycemia. Plasmodium is a protozoa. P. falciparum is the most dangerous of the Plasmodium species. And you've got a little diagram here to kind of show, we're going to look into this later a little bit more. This is uncomplicated versus severe symptoms. You can read a little bit more if you'd like. Here is the breakdown. I'm not going to try to pronunciate those, but for the taxonomy of the organism, we're going to look more into the stages here. This is the human host life cycle, and then into the mosquito host, and then back again. Here's a little video for mosquito host life cycle.
Honeydew. Only a pregnant mosquito will bite humans, seeking nutrients from blood to nourish her developing eggs. If she drinks blood from someone infected with malaria, she too becomes infected with the disease. The tiny drop of blood filling the insect's stomach is teeming with malaria parasites. The parasite form that is deadly inside humans cannot survive in the mosquito's stomach and is slowly digested with the rest of her blood meal. However, back in the human host, a few of the parasites turned into a different type of cell, one that is sexual but remains dormant. Malaria sex is triggered when the warm human blood begins to cool inside the insect's stomach. The female form of the parasite matures into an egg. The male form takes a while longer to mature into sperm. This sperm is from an earlier feed. The fertilized cell can glide and begins to explore its new environment. It migrates to the outer lining of the mosquito's stomach before transforming into a cyst. Each cyst produces thousands of thin, tiny parasites, which seek out and infest the mosquito's salivary glands. The next time this mosquito bites a victim, the malaria parasite will ride in with her saliva and infect another human.
Now we are going to look at the human host from there and their life cycle.
This mosquito is infected with the malaria parasite. Because she is pregnant, she has become hungry for human blood. During the bite, she injects saliva to stop the blood from clotting. Her infected saliva also carries the malaria parasite. The parasite rides the bloodstream like a network of roads, seeking its first target, the core of your body's blood filter system, the liver. Sensing its arrival at the liver, the parasite searches for an exit. A sentinel Kupfer cell is the entry point to liver tissue. Leaving the blood, the parasite infects a liver cell, killing one or more other cells on its way. Over the next few days, the parasite undergoes hundreds of nuclear divisions, copying its DNA over and over again. A single infected liver cell can create thousands of new parasites. The next generation of parasites are modified to infect a new target: red blood cells. Inside a red blood cell, the parasite can hide from the body's immune system. The parasite slowly devours the contents of the infected cell and creates more parasites. The infected cell becomes sticky and grips onto blood vessel walls. Once mature, the infected cell bursts, spreading more parasites through the bloodstream. Malaria victims suffer fever, loss of blood, convulsions, brain damage, and coma. This year, 10% of people on Earth will be struck down with malaria. Countless millions have been killed by it.
This is kind of what we just watched, again, the life cycle of the human host and then the mosquito host. The main point to take away from this kind of goes over what we just saw, but P. falciparum repeatedly replicates over the course of 48 hours, kind of as you saw, resulting in exponential growth and rapid disease progression. So it all happens very quickly. And so they have these options for treatment. There is no vaccine, but there are prescription drugs. The first option, not FDA approved, and then we have chloroquine phosphates. In many parts of the world, parasites are resistant to this chloroquine, and so the drug, is no longer effective. This is the most widely used one. It's ACTs. a combination of 2 or more drugs that works against it, Plasmodium falciparum. It is the preferred treatment for chloroquine-resistant malaria. This is prevention for malaria, which we've all heard about. It's the nets, the long-lasting insecticidal nets, or you can see them referred to as insecticidal-treated mosquito nets. These last 3 years, they reduce associated morbidity and mortality. It protects people from mosquito bites between the hours of dusk and dawn, and it repels the mosquitoes with insecticide. These are the key points for malaria. It occurs in tropical areas. Many charities worldwide have worked to provide funds and equipment like these nets to help the endemic in Africa. And then because medication is expensive, nets are used to prevent malaria. That is the most widely used. And here is a very interesting, very cool advertisement shown in India for these nets.
जब से खूब टिकाऊ कीटनाशक मच्छरदानी घर आई सब चैन से सोए बिना परेशानी मच्छरों से जीतने का है ये सरल उपाय नियमित इस्तेमाल से ये मलेरिया दूर भगाए गर्भवती महिला बच्चों को इसने ही सुनाए खूब टिकाऊ कीटनाशक मच्छरदानी लगाएं इसमें कीटनाशक ऐसा चले जो सालों साल ये ज्यादा असरदार आसान है इस्तेमाल
मलेरिया ग्रस्त इलाकों में मुफ्त उपलब्ध स्वास्थ्य कर्मी या आशा से संपर्क करें
Thank you for watching.